So the first thing we'd like to know from all of you: who are you guys here? Where do you come from? Just to have an imagination to what kind of people, what kind of audience we have here. So are here some promoters? 1, 2, okay. Production managers. Okay. Venues? Someone from venues? No one. Okay, the rest. Who are you? Sorry? Producers, yeah. So producers? Okay. Shy people, okay. I think you will not be that shy, so please ask questions during this panel. It will be much easier for us to, get some answers to your questions and tell you more about the things you'd like to know. Well, what is this panel about? It's it's about the future of special effects, so we'll just try to move a little bit forward to talk about fireworks, about drones, about lasers, and all these new technologies. And I have here some experts who will just tell me more about it. So I know we've heard a lot of stories and a lot of things, but Tom, would you like to tell us a little bit about the history of fireworks and how does it change? Is there a need is there still a need?
Well, you would hardly not expect me to say there's still a need, so I think we can take that as read. They have changed. They've changed both in the way that they've been used, the precision that they use now. So firing off structures has really become a big thing in only the last 15, 20 years. So the London Eye, the Eiffel Tower, Sydney Harbour Bridge, which is a whole different variety of material. And then as I've just... then as I've just indicated, there's changes in the chemistry as well. And low smoke is a very important feature for us both indoors and increasingly outdoors because it detracts from the event. So there is some research going on in low smoke, which happens to be based on nitrocellulose, which happens to produce more nitrogen oxide. So there's no easy win on this. Everything that we do to try and solve one thing can create problems elsewhere. But there is research going on. Okay, but is there a need for more of these wow effects with fireworks in general? I think there are things that you can do with fireworks and the wow effect, if you want to put it that way, that I don't think we will ever see from either, and with the greatest of respect to my two friends here, either from lasers or from drones. That there is an impact, both visual, oral, and even you can feel the fireworks, which I think is a unique feature of them, and I think people will still want to be entertained. So I don't see either regulatory pressure or even domestic pressure reducing that. Things have changed, the way they're used are changed, the number of times they're used are changed. When I started, the average show that I did was nearly an hour long. Well, if I took you out and made you watch an hour worth of fireworks now, you'd be bored stiff.
We'll just talk about drones, Andrew. So I think this is a huge trend now, using drones even in private life. And people are using it everywhere, and which is interesting, but also negative in different aspects. So what would you say about the drones? How can you use it for events, at shows? What is the most effective thing, and what's the trend using drones?
Well, just to introduce first of all, I run a company called Crowded Space Drones, and we fly in crowded spaces, i.e. near events. Events are the second most hard to fly in areas for drones in the UK under current legislation. The one before that would be like Heathrow Airport. So we're very regulated. We can't be officially within 150 metres of an assembled crowd. 150 metres is quite a substantial distance when you're trying to do visual effects with drones. So we as a company work around that and work with the CA and different people to try and get closer distances from crowds, and that's what we specialise in. In terms of drones, they're usually seen as a very negative thing at events recently. The amount of crime in relation to, if you fly a drone illegally at an event, you can be locked up for 5 years and get a £5,000 fine. So it is a substantial issue if you do that. We have seen 1,000% rise in drone crime in the UK in 2016, over 1,000%, I should say, to the point where the police are now creating new strategies to how to deal with drone crime. And I've dealt with over 60 prosecutions. Our company does a lot of stopping drones work, and we've dealt with over 60 prosecutions last year. And some of those are in relation to events and crowds. And people just think it's completely safe to fly over crowds, and it's not. Coming back to the point about fireworks, actually, there's quite a few people in America now deciding to fire fireworks from drones, usually at each other. But I'm sure there'll be some sort of display element to that at some point. Drones can be fireworks in their own right. They have LiPo batteries on board, which we have a massive fire risk with. So we have had things we haven't as a company, but if you Google drone batteries online, you'll see explosions and a chemical fire. So one of my other jobs is with it's what's called the Drone Racing League, which is the really fast racing drones, so 90 mile an hour things. I'm now in charge of safety for that. So basically, we're trying to put spectators involved with racing drones and stop them. The spectators obviously getting injured. So when you've got chemical fire potential, that's obviously quite substantial to make sure it's safe. Drones are really coming on board because the battery life holds drones back massively. That's our biggest issue at the moment, because battery equals payload equals effect. We can now basically take any standard stage LED light and fly that for up to 25 minutes on a standard drone we use, including powering it. So the capability is substantial. So technically we could have an array of drones with all your stage lighting above an open stage and fly that for 20 minutes at a time at the moment. There's a video we can show at some point from the more professional displays from Intel. So if anyone saw the Super Bowl with Lady Gaga, or Disney actually have now replaced fireworks in some of their aspects with a drone display. They did it for Christmas. Now it's been successful, so I believe it's going to be a permanent display in Florida. And those are quite hard to do near people, but we are doing them near people nowadays. They're quite expensive, but they're half the price they were a year ago. Drone technology is coming down massively. Again, it's equated to battery power. But there's a lot of safety factors there. There's a lot of regulatory things. The CEA do not like crowds whatsoever. It is the hardest thing to get them to agree to, is drones flying near crowds. And the sad thing is, the regulation says if there's 999 people at your event, I can fly very, very, very close. But if there's one more than 1,000, I have to fly quite far away. So they're good there for safety, but they've very little flexibility in the CEA. So that's why our company specialises in just trying to get drones into events safely.
Okay, thank you. Yes, before we continue, I think we will see now a short video. I have to use this one. Is that right? Sorry.
Hello again, everyone. There's always been that, okay, so what are you going to do next after Drone 100? Can you do something more? The difference between 100 and 500 is mind-blowing.
We have changed the whole thinking from many individual drones towards one single fleet of drones.
The drone itself is a completely new drone. This is the Intel Shooting Star. It's made to be lightweight. It has a propeller cage so that we can ensure that everything is done safely and securely.
A fleet of these drones actually needs to have special permission. So we had to work with the FAA to show that we can operate this in a safe way. And it has been designed where 2 people can actually operate it by themselves. Why 2 people? Because you need 1 person for backup.
All this drone can do is light up the sky. But this is something it can do really, really well.
It takes the whole concept of a light show into a whole new domain. it drives human imagination. It creates an expression of art.
This is something that we never could have done last year. It's been an amazing experience just to see the technology develop so quickly. There's always been that, okay, so what are you going to do next after Drone 100? Can you do something more? The difference always been that, okay, so what are you going to do next after Drone 100? Can you do something more?
Those are the shooting star drones from Intel, so that's what Disney used and that's what the Super Bowl used. They're very good drones. They're completely waterproof now and they take a large wind resistance, so they can fly in a lot of weather. At the Super Bowl, it was filmed on the Monday before, but that was because of the the security concerns of the Super Bowl rather than the actual problems of flying in the night. Those really take up a space for takeoff and landing of approximately 50 by 70 meters, approximately. They'll take off in a very condensed area and they're quite safe. You saw one person actually caught one landing. That's because the propellers are caged. They then take off and then can display vertically, so the actual footprint is sort of a meter wide by however wide the display is. So they're very economical for when they do get in the air. And there's a huge redundancy. So the Disney display used from memory about 300 drones and had 20 as backups. So these drones are intelligent. They're called a swarm. So they talk to each other. So if a battery goes too low or there's a fault, it automatically lands and one of them is replaced automatically by another drone. So they're really intelligent. Again, that comes with cost. That display is hundreds of thousands at least for you, unless Intel really want to work with you and they'll do it for free. So you can do that on a smaller scale with existing drone technology in the UK, but you're talking 20, 30, 40 at most drones from a financial point of view, realistically.
Okay. Thank you. So we'll just try to go on with the next one. Yes.
I could be king. You can be my queen. Anything could drive us away. We can be there just for one day. We can be heroes just for one day. We can be heroes just for one day. We can be heroes. 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 Just for one day. You and me, big hands on the
Okay, very impressive video and pictures. So, would you like to add something to the show, to the production?
I don't know what what haven't I talked about? Basically what I didn't explain that I made the screen for 3D polarization. It's the only gauze in the world that works retains polarization of light. So it works with the 3D polarized glasses. You can have the paper ones, the throwaway sort of paper ones, and recyclable paper ones that you can give out to a massive audience rather than having the active ones. You can only have a few people. So that was kind of something I wanted to do. But then what happened? I kind of lucked out because the screen has got a silver coating. It's actually it is real silver, silver plated, and it's made the screen is just so invisible if you light it correctly. It just completely, it's not there. So that's kind of unheard of in with other gauzes and stuff. They're not, and it's sort of kind of designed for video, so it's got higher contrast, it's got better colours than a normal gauze. It doesn't sort of blur out. It's really high definition. So it's really, you know, it's really kind of change things, because you can merge reality with graphics. You know, it's sort of kind of changed what you can do, I think.
Okay, there's a question from the audience.
How reliant is it on sightlines? Because one of the things about ghosting is
yeah, it's much better, and also so your project I'd say it's a front projection surface, and you hang it vertically. And you come down at an angle, so your image will hit the gauze, and then you want to lose it on the floor, maybe light the stage with, you know, have your audience in darkness, and that's to create the illusion. And your question was, the sight lines. Yeah, so if you're looking at an angle, because it's woven silver, actually the brightness is brilliant. You're normally on a screen, the brightness drops, so you see that, and the sight lines is excellent, because it's at the front of the stage, and it's a very fine kind of gauze, and so the sight line's very good. If you're doing a 3D stereoscopic thing, it all goes a bit weird, because say if you had a person standing on stage back from the gauze, the person straight in front, the person would appear here, but from you, they'd be positioned over here or something. Yeah, so it's all about the content and how you work with that.